If you come armed with your own expertise or looking to build and grow an expertise, AI could take that and throw fuel on that fire. But if you're trying to leverage AI to replace every bit of human intelligence that's going on in your world or in your business, you are setting yourself up to either be replaced by AI or ultimately likely lose your competitive edge, because everybody has access to those tools and you won't have an edge anymore if you don't have your own unique expertise and point of view. And so that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to both for myself, for everybody that's joining us, help amplify your intelligence. You go out, get experience in the world, leverage tools to make that more effective, leverage tools to make that go farther. And as you do that, we can spread your message more effectively, help you get customers, get clients more effectively, leveraging what you're already up to, and show you how to do that in that process. Welcome back to Not Real Estate Growth Hackers, because that's what this episode is about. We are talking about how this show is actually going to shift, change, and evolve as who we're serving and who's been coming into the world of what we're up to has shifted, changed, and evolved. And so we're going to be going into that. Here with me today, as always, for the past, we've been doing this again for a while, right, Charlie? But I got Charlie Madison, founder, coder. What's that?
I was saying, I heard the first year is the hardest.
There you go. Charlie, you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt again today. I feel like this is the perfect episode to do this relaunch on. You're back in the tropical clothing. I feel at home.
The world is back to where it should be.
That's right. So yeah, let me get everyone caught up. And as always, Charlie, feel free to riff with me on this. In terms of what I'm doing, like Real Estate Growth Hackers as a thing isn't really going away. Website's still going to exist. I still actually may put content up there, courses on there, and the show, even as we move forward, still will be relevant. But let's step back and look a little bit at the history. So when I started Real Estate Growth Hackers about 10 years ago at this point, I forget the exact day, year, etc. It would have been probably 2014, 2015. It's so almost 10 years ago now. Really, I didn't have a clear vision for exactly what I was about either, other than that I was about helping the real estate industry hack growth. And that's really what I've been about. And so what does that mean? That's meant leveraging technology in cool ways, right? Software, tools, platforms that you may or may not already be using, putting them together in ways that really allow you to get an outsized result compared to your cost and effort on the front end. And so I shared a lot of what had been working with me, the strategies and tactics that I'd put in place with lots of real estate folks, teams, brokers, agents, even some lending professionals, title folks, that sort of thing as well. And I was sharing those concepts. Over time, I've found that really my niche has come toward the people that are really most able to capitalize on my strategies, which have been team owners or brokerages that run like a team. So the people that you run a real estate business like a full business, right? It's more than just a sales job for you. You think about things like having staff, and you think about things like scaling up your pipeline in order to have people process them, having systems, whether that's through ISAs or CRMs or software tools, or even on the back end, having people like transaction coordinators and maybe admin staff on your team that help you run your business at a high level where you've grown beyond just doing it all, hat of a beginning agent. And really what I've seen is that's who I best serve, because they're able to get the best results out of what I talk about. I don't necessarily have the strategies, or at least I don't really lean into the strategies that are exactly like, here's how you get started, or here's the cheapest way to get leads, as much as, hey, here's the way to get cost-effective leads that's scalable and allows you to stay flush with business. Those are the kinds of strategies that I tend to talk about and think about. And I tend to be thinking about how can we reduce the amount of time that each person on your team has to take in order to get a successful result. Sometimes, how can we reduce the caliber of person required in order to still get a good result? So you can leverage VAs to do more than you thought possible, that you don't need somebody who's already familiar with real estate, or you don't need somebody in the States, and so you're able to maximize your costs, etc. And you know what I've learned, Charlie?
What have you learned?
I've learned that pretty much every business wants those same kind of things. And so as a result, the more that I've talked about what I'm up to, and the more that I've shared, not just with the real estate community, but the other people that I roll with, the digital agencies, the SaaS companies, Those right now are probably the biggest groupings, but just companies that are running more at a level of, we've got a team, we've got a mission that we're focused on achieving, and we want to leverage technology in a way that makes us more efficient, more effective, and allows us to skyrocket our growth. And so that's what we're doing. We're making it clear that what we're talking about isn't just relevant to the real estate industry. What we're talking about actually is relevant to more people, because that's what the market's telling us they want. When I put out content, I'm seeing lots of people who aren't real estate people interested in what we're talking about, interested in what we're up to, and how we're automating SOP generation, and how we're automating the turning of content via video into marketing content on social media that's written. How we're taking processes that used to take people easily 30 to 40 hours and reducing it to a process that takes 3 hours for a person to do. Everybody seems to want that. Everybody, at least, who fits into that vein of, you've got a mission that you're looking to accomplish and you got a team that can help you do it. So that's who we're looking to serve. That's a little bit about why we're doing that change. Because really, I was running into an issue of, it was obvious people were liking what we're up to, but it's a little bit confusing when the name of the show is called Real Estate Growth Hackers for people to know, is this really for me? And so we're making it more clear that it is. Go ahead.
I think one of your most brilliant points is you can really good sales, which businesses need. You're also one of the most technical people I know. You teach me stuff, and I've been called the most technical person that most everyone that I know knows. And you're also really good at marketing. And the way that we got connected was through Kevin, and he's got multiple businesses, and Costas, who runs a software company. And though I've got a real estate practice, we really connected because I had my software company. And your ability to be able to see the big game, but also dial it in and take step by step to actually get something completed. Well, I want to just move on to the next thing. The fact that you can hold both sides is really cool. And the people that I've seen that need that, who you work really well with, whether it's large software companies or people paying you $4,000 a month for your consulting, it's the person that's already successful, that's ready to 5x, 10x through your wisdom and technology.
Exactly. And yeah, that's really a good way of putting it. I found that who I best serve isn't necessarily the group of people that are struggling to figure it out, as much as the people who have something that's working. They just like it to be a lot better. They'd like it to cost less. They'd like it to run more efficiently. They'd like to maybe buy back some time freedom, where maybe they have the income taken care of, but they're looking to make sure that they get more time back. Or maybe they already have strategies that are working. They just want to see how they can leverage it even further, get even more out of what they're doing. Now, does that mean it's not going to have relevant, useful information for people who are just starting out? No, it'll still be useful and helpful for anybody. It starts you down a good track of thinking about things in a positive, scalable way. But that's who, at least, really, my ideas, my way of thinking, my way of helping seems to help the most. That's who we're focused on. So now, what's staying the same? Like I just mentioned, we've already been talking about most of these concepts already, right? It's not like the subject matter of what we're talking about is going to change. We're still going to be talking about marketing strategies that work. We're going to be talking about how AI is making things more efficient and how to build AI-empowered teams, how to leverage AI in the processes of scaling up what we are up to. So AI is still really going to be a massive part of what we're up to. And we're going to be focused on the same things that I find interesting, fascinating, and helpful, of how can we streamline our operations, leveraging technology and AI, and how can we skyrocket our growth by putting out solid marketing strategies that maybe just happen to be made more efficient or more powerful, leveraging things like AI and whatever tech tools are making our lives easier. We're talking about a lot of the same things. Will everything always be real estate focused at this point? No. So it won't always be real estate focused. But am I never going to talk about real estate specific topics? No, I will. So I'll still be talking about things that are real estate specific. We might be talking recruitment strategies for real estate teams and those sorts of things. Because really, for me, I'm just making it more clear that while we might have case studies that are specific industries, whether it's real estate or digital agencies or SaaS companies, we're not going to zero in on only one thing all the time. I think that's in service even to the real estate professionals. One of the things that I have learned, have you heard the story about where the drive-through window came from?
I feel like you've told me before, and I can't remember exactly how it went.
It's an example that I go to often. But when we think of a drive-through window, what do we most often associate with it in our current culture?
Big Mac and fries.
That's right. We think about fast food, right? The place that we most commonly see the drive-through is in the fast food industry. Where it was first popularized was actually from pharmacies. So pharmacies were the ones that first started using the drive-through window, but that technology was taken from that industry, that form of sales, and adapted into food, where it's actually become more powerful and more useful. It's responsible for more sales than it ever might be in the pharmaceutical industry. I found the same thing in my life as well, that there's something about hearing from people in other industries, hearing about how other people get things done, that unlocks a part of our brain that's different, where we often get into these mental ruts where we're going down the same path and we're just used to it. We get into our echo chambers. We're used to hearing from the same people who learn from the same people. We get into this world where we're only ever hearing from the same 3 to 4 top level opinions, right? And while that's useful at times, for sake of having extreme clarity on, I know this applies to this market, I know this applies to my business, I know this applies and is easy to take in and put into action. That's good, and that is powerful. It's like the equivalent of, if you are dying of thirst, you need a drink of water. But we also need to grow and expand and hopefully find the thing that nobody else in our industry is doing. And find the things that really set us apart and make us unique and different and ability to 10x over our competition. And very rarely are those things found within the industry that you are currently in. Because if they were, you'd already be doing it and they'd already be commonplace. And very often we need to hear from what people in other industries are doing. We need to hear from the people who are running Fortune 500 businesses and how do they think about scale? How do they think about team? Because chances are we can learn a thing or two from the people that are having to operate at that level that we don't currently. Now, is everything going to be relevant? Is everything going to be useful? No, probably not. But those nuggets that sort of bridge us into a different way of thinking that could really skyrocket what we're up to. I'm really excited that in this process of expanding what we're talking about, that we might be bringing on guests that are from different industries than you're used to, hear from people that have a bigger view of things, and hopefully be able to, both me personally, grow myself, but also for you listening, that you're able to take that information and maybe find new insights that you weren't previously, because it's not from that same echo chamber of within the real estate industry. And so that's part of what we're looking at. Real estate content for me is not going away. It's still a big part of the group that I serve and where I'm very familiar and have lots of readily implementable tactics and strategies for you to deploy. I still have a massive library of marketing strategies, sales strategies, follow-up, courses, templates, all that stuff. None of that's gone away and it all still works. So we're still going to be leveraging that and probably creating new things as we learn with new people as well. Now, some of the content will be getting more expansive, more relevant to a bigger audience. And my hope is that in doing that, we're able to not only serve more people, but we're able to unlock more opportunities than we were able to before. In terms of where things are going to be found, I still am not positive exactly what we're going to call the new show. I've got what we're working under, and I will reveal that now. I really like the name Amp Intel for Amplified Intelligence, because it really speaks to what we're doing. If you've been listening to this for a while, or the way that I think about AI is I don't think about it as being a replacement for humans, but rather being a way to take the intelligence that you already have and amplify it and leverage it further. If you come armed with your own expertise or looking to build and grow an expertise, AI could take that and really throw fuel on that fire. But if you're trying to leverage AI to replace every bit of human intelligence that's going on in your world or in your business, you are setting yourself up to either be replaced by AI or ultimately likely lose your competitive edge, because everybody has access to those tools and you won't have an edge anymore if you don't have your own unique expertise and point of view. And so that's what I'm looking to do. I'm looking to both for myself, for everybody that's joining us, help amplify your intelligence. You go out, get experience in the world, leverage tools to make that more effective, leverage tools to make that go farther. And as you do that, we can spread your message more effectively, help you get customers, get clients more effectively, leveraging what you're already up to and show you how to do that in that process. Amp Intel is currently the working title for the new show. Where you can find it, I'm going to start transitioning where the content is found over to zachhammer.me. So it'll all be under me and my name and my brand. Figure it starts to make sense for folks. If you want to hear the way that I think about things in the business perspective, it's probably a good opportunity for me to just pull it under my name and start branding it that way. The show itself, working title, but you're going to start to be able to find it at zachhammer.me. That may not start immediately, may take a little bit for that to happen. You'll be able to likely find it both zachhammer.me and as well as Real Estate Growth Hackers. If you are consuming our content from our podcast feed, you likely won't need to change anything. The feed itself, I think, will just continue right where it is, and we'll likely change the name of the show through our feed itself. You might need to go to a new YouTube channel. We might be publishing in a new place since it's going to be more of a bigger variety of content that isn't real estate specific. All of the old links should continue to work, but for new content, there may be new places. If you want access to that, again, zachhammer.me is ultimately going to end up being the best place to go and find that, find those links, etc. But yeah, that pretty much covers it in terms of what we got going on and what the shift is happening. Again, ultimately, the crux of what we're up to is we're looking to help you build AI-empowered teams, streamline operations, and skyrocket growth. We're going to be relevant still to real estate teams, but also SaaS companies, digital agencies, and really any business leader who has a team, who has success, who's looking to innovate and grow. That's who we're serving right now. Show frequency should stay about the same. Looking to keep up a weekly schedule that does shift and change a little bit over time. I had a backlog of content for a bit. I need to develop some more backlog at this point. So that should stay the same. And again, we're covering the same topics and all of that. So if you want to be along for the ride with us, I encourage you to stay subscribed. Content, newsletter, all of that will be changing a bit. But yeah, one more thing, right?
One more thing.
The Apple thing. With AI, one of the things that's become very clear to me is, and we've talked about this a bit, but the ability for me to show up as I am and have AI help to make it be more powerful and able to be distributed more to more people. And so one of the things that I'm seeing currently is that there's a really strong grouping of people who would prefer to read rather than watch or listen. And we did an episode about that. We talked about that. So moving forward, one of the things that you could start to expect is that I'm really looking to build out this show concept so that we have a format that makes sense for you. So if you like to watch the videos, if you feel like you consume content well, that's the way that I naturally show up. Charlie, you talk about the marketing DNA a lot, and so me and Charlie doing this show together, showing up, having a conversation, and creating content that way, that's going to happen. So there's still going to be a video component. Obviously, audio from this gets put out into podcast feeds, so you'll be able to listen as well if you don't have the time to sit and watch. You want to throw us on while you're doing dishes, mowing the yard, exercising, throwing it on during the commute. It'll still be there. But the other thing that we're going to start doing is, we've already started shifting this a little bit, but you can expect that when we put out an episode like this, we will also have not just high-level show notes, but it'll actually be restructured as an easy-to-read article that you can consume and read and skim if you want. So you can still get the key insights at an in-depth level. Not just the high-level ideas, but really, if we talk about something in the show, if we talk about specific tactics or strategies, you'll be able to get that in a written format. So you'll see that happening as well as we make this shift. The content will be multimedia for video, written, audio, all of that. So no matter what way you like to consume content, you'll start seeing it that way. And then also some of the other strategies that we're doing. You'll see bits and pieces of this come out over time as social media content from me as well. We still have clips going out and all that. If you want the beating pulse on what I'm up to, what we're thinking about, and what we're working on, this show is going to be the best option, whether you want to listen or read what it's up to, but it becomes the anchor point for everything else. So I encourage you, subscribe, whether via podcast, video, or written, or all of the above, depending on how you're feeling at that day. We'll have some good content for you in a way that you should be able to take action on, put into practice, and help it grow your business. So there you go. Charlie, any final thoughts or whatnot on this shift and the changing direction?
We've been talking about it for a while off of the show, and so been seeing it. And the two things that occur to me is, one, to be successful in real estate, and you've worked with a lot of successful real estate businesses, you've got to be the top of your game. I've seen many people that go from a real estate business to another business, and they're like, I take what I learned there that I had to do to survive, and I bring it over here to this other industry. And no one's doing anything like that. Like a lot of industries, literally, you just return phone calls that day and you win. And so for you to take what it takes to recruit a sales team, to build out your SOPs, to have a 1099 sales team, all the AI that you're leveraging, to take the presentations and all of that and then put it into other industries, which you've already been doing through the SaaS companies. So to be able to take that information and then put it in other places is really cool. And then also just like the stuff that you're building AI wise can touch so many. If you're a successful business and you're wanting to actually have effective AI, and like I said, not just a list of 50 word prompts, but actually have like usable AI, the machines, the things that you're putting together now are like blowing me away. And so it's really exciting to see where this is opening up.
Yeah, I love it. I think really on the AI front, part of what makes the difference is I'm not just talking about AI because it's a fun, shiny thing. What I am doing is I am sharing what I am putting into practice to make a meaningful difference in my business with everybody else. I'm sharing what's actually working, what I'm using day to day in my business to make my team more effective, to recruit more effectively, to hire more effectively, to run my marketing more effectively. I'm just sharing from the front lines what I'm actually using. I'm not building a tool and then finding an audience. I'm building things for myself and saying, it's working for me. You want it too? Right? I think that makes a big difference because most people, when they're talking about AI, are still, it's a shiny object that's capable of cool things and people see a lot of potential, but they're not actually putting it into practice and don't know how, right? And hopefully, this quirk of my brain where I can't help but put it into practice and figure out how to make it work and do that hard work of figuring out the right prompts and figuring out the right way to string things together and figuring out the right technology to run it and make those processes feel easy. Hopefully that thing that I do is beneficial to everybody else to be able to get those results without having to put in that time and effort that I put into it naturally. Love it. Thank you for those thoughts, Charlie. I'm excited for us to continue recording content, continue reaching this group of people that like to hear from us and hear us talk about how they can, grow their business, scale more effectively, create streamlined operations, and really build an AI-empowered team so that it's like you have a whole army of people that all have their own Iron Man suit to make them 10 times more effective, if not more. There you go. That covers it. So again, be looking for information and shifting places where we're publishing. But yeah, zachhammer.me is the best place to check out to stay informed. It's where the content should be moving to. So check that out. But otherwise, if you're already receiving information from us on our list, if you're already subscribed via podcast feeds, you shouldn't have to change anything there. So most of you should already naturally be pointed to the new direction. But yeah, there you go. If you haven't been though, I definitely recommend head over for now to realestategrowthhackers.com. If you haven't already, you can sign up there. zachhammer.me. We should be getting stuff up and live there soon for you to sign up there as well so that you can stay informed on what we're up to. Well, yeah, thanks so much again for coming on, Charlie. And until next time, we'll catch you guys on the next one.
Thanks for tuning in to the Real Estate Growth Hacker Show. Remember, done is better than perfect. To turn the marketing ideas and tactics you just learned into real growth for your real estate business, visit us at realestategrowthhackers.com. If you like this episode, consider sharing it with another real estate professional who could benefit from the information. Or maybe you'd like to subscribe to the show to never miss an episode. And you can leave a rating or review on iTunes with your biggest takeaway, helping this show to reach and help more people just like you. Thanks again, and we'll see you on the next episode.